Good evening, afternoon, everybody. Well, it's currently sort of early afternoon. That's sun in my eyes. It's currently early afternoon here on this lovely trail, and I'm on this beast. If you've watched the channel for a while now, you will know that I do lots of tyre reviews, primarily because I've got this thing, the KTM Super Adventure S, and that goes through tyres rather fast. Recently, in probably a video you've seen a couple of weeks ago actually, I had the Michelin Pilot Road 6s. I think they're actually just called Road 6s nowadays, not Pilot Roads. But I've had two sets of those, or two rears and one front on that, and I've just got rid of it because I got a dirty great big puncture in the Lake District, as you would have seen in this video. I put on my Instagram, which set of tyres should I get? I want to try something else, something a bit different. A few people said these things. These are the Continental Trail Attack 3s. So I had a set of these put on, and within 3 weeks, I think it was, I got a dirty great big nail through the back one. I plugged it, and it sort of worked, but it kept leaking. And it was like a brand new tyre still, so I was pretty pissed off. Front one's done about 1500 miles ish, rear one's done about 200 miles ish. But I'm going to tell you in this video what I think of them, and because they're trail tyres, we are on an trail, and it's quite a nice evening actually. I've got a, see this gold thing? That's an ND filter, a neutral density filter, which is essentially like sunglasses for your camera. And I've also got, look at this thing, I've got a Zoom Bluetooth recorder, which I have to thank Andy Mancam and the Likeable Rider for showing me the way. I mean, Andy Mancam actually did some stuff, Likeable Rider just has this, so. Oh, also, this is my new mouse case that Mouse sent me. There's going to be a review on this coming, but I had a quad lock for a number of years and I got a bit fed up with it, so I removed it. But look how simple this mount is. That's literally it, and then you press the buttons and it pulls off. And it's got like vibration dampener and everything mounted in there. Banging. Anyway, yeah, tyres. So they are trail tyres. You'll see why I'm doing that in a minute. They are very much just, they look like the Road Attack 3s or 4s or whatever they are. They just look exactly the same, if I'm honest. Right, let's get on the Road-a-Rooney. Road-a-Rooney. Ready to race. There's a runner coming down here. She's probably going to think I'm a right twat. And she would be right. Right. Close the visor so you can hear me. These are apparently trail tyres, or which basically means they're road tyres that have an ability to do this kind of thing. Which is, this is just a green lane, or a byway, whatever you want to call it, in the UK. Yeah, I mean, they can do it. As I mentioned a minute ago, they are very, very much not off-road tyres. This goes for any of these 80/20 tyres. It's like the Scorpion Rally STRs. It's like the Anarchy Adventures weren't bad. But any of these sort of mid-level trail tyres, the Dunlop Mutants, anything like that, they're not. They're really not off-road tyres. They will handle stuff like this, 20 to 30 odd mile an hour. They're fine. They're not washing out or anything. They're not losing traction, which is completely fine. But as soon as you hit any form of mud, like this stuff here, this is literally just greasy. It's not even that muddy, it's just the top layer's slightly damp. They are really not that great for that sort of thing. Having said that, and in fairness to them, they're not marketed for that kind of thing. Every time I've been going through any of that sort of slightly slimy stuff, it gets really nervy, like the front end just starts sliding and all sorts. Like any of the tyres in this kind of category that are marketed as trail, they're fine for dry trails, for fire tracks if you're in America, that kind of thing. But as soon as you get into anything wet, any grass or anything like that, it's just not worth it. Having said that, the only thing that is actually worth having on wet stuff like that is proper, well, half decent knobblies like this kind of. See that? They're just sliding everywhere. But again, that's not a trail tyre, that is an knobbly. You need something like a TKC-AT. Right, now we've done the off-road section, because most of you won't actually use these for off-road. What I can tell you is really good, and something that is worth buying them for, is if you live in a place like this, which is slightly more countrified, sort of fields and shit, and you get this kind of stuff in the middle of the road. Ooh, maybe not that, because that's wet. If you get this kind of gravelly crap like here in the middle of the road, they don't move too much if you cross it, whereas if you had an out and out road tyre, they would be all over the place and you'd almost not, you'd nearly lose the front end on some of it. I still advise you wouldn't cross it unless you have to, but I mean, I'm on it now and it's fine, which is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Coming into the road section where most people are going to use them, I can't tell you anything to do with longevity because I haven't had them long enough to be able to do so. They're kind of the tyre you buy that you do 98% of your riding on the road, and occasionally you might go, I fancy going down a fire track. The other reason I've sort of waited a little bit longer to do a first impressions review on them is because we've had all this sort of grimy, crappy, slimy roads. They grit the roads and there's salt everywhere. It rains heavily and then you end up all the silt and everything that washes onto the road, so no tyre is going to be really good in those conditions. I did find the back end on this slipping out a little bit in those conditions, kind of as expected, and I think, like I said, it's not really fair to judge them too much on that because of the silt and the shit on the road. If you've watched the channel for a while, you'll know I ride this bike relatively hard. Spiritedly would probably be a better term. I also commute and I do touring as well, so I'm sort of using the bike for quite a few different instances. The wet weather performance isn't quite as good as my Road 6, my beloved Road 6s, or Road 5s, Road 6s. They're still very good in the wet, but they're not as good as the Road 6s. The thing that I have to credit these for over the Road 6s is the dry weather performance. The other morning commuting into work, I was a little bit late, should we say. I rode very quick into work. When I got to work, I sort of thought to myself, I didn't have any thought about the tyres at all. There was no concerns that the tyres were gripping or anything. I just didn't think about the tyres. Every corner I threw it into, every roundabout or corner I ploughed out of, they handled just very well. There was no thought in my head about whether the tyres were gripping or not. It was just, they gripped. And it was really, really good. My weekend riding consists of lanes like this, just like the skanky kind of back roads with dirt and grime and gravel all over them and all sorts of stuff. They do slip a little bit. Like I did a minute ago, I accelerated hard and the back wheel sort of skipped a little bit and moved a little bit. You see what I mean though? It's just like they're so easy to throw into corners. I'm not hard cornering, but I'm not going slowly. I can throw it into a corner and it's completely fine. It's just completely stable. Oh. So yeah, you can see there, like, I mean, I'm not by any means on the edge of the tyre. This isn't a completely dry road, this is a relatively, like, it rained about a half hour ago. So you can see there's water on the surface and the road's not warm, it's about 7 degrees at the moment. like I said, they handle quite well, basically, to put it bluntly. Oh, sun's back in my eyes. Oh my god, I can't see a thing. With corners that are slightly damp or slightly shiny looking, should I say, I tend to slow down and be a bit more hesitant of them. I don't think I need to be hesitant of them, but I am, if that makes sense, because I don't know how much I trust the tyre, pretty much. But I have to say, in the dry, they are phenomenally good. Especially for trail tyres as well. Like, they do a road attack version of these, which are way more road focused, and you can get those really far over. I haven't had enough time on the tyres yet to be able to tell you whether I really like them. At the moment, I definitely prefer my Road 6s for general use. For fast riding, these are better, like, without a doubt. They seem to work quite well under load as well. Like, if I brake hard, they're fine. They don't deform or they don't squirm or anything, which is lovely. Like, these are the sort of roads that I'm at home on. These kind of little back lanes where you get to throw stuff around and you get to really be a bit of a dick, but you're not doing 100 miles an hour. You're just sort of throwing it around tight little nadgery corners, a little bit more technical. I don't like being mid-corner, about to throw it into a corner, and then I have to change my line because there's dirt in the road. So this is perfect for that kind of thing. So yeah, I think as a general tyre, if you don't do any off-road or you only do the off gravel trail, like, brilliant things, really good. Since I've put them on, I've really enjoyed them. Like, riding my bike has just been a lot of fun. So there you go. What do you think? I mean, I'd be interested to know what tyres you're running. I know a lot of people seem to be running the Dunlop Mutants, which are marketed exactly the same as these. They're like I'd say 80-20, but they're probably more 90-10. Like, they're not off-road tyres at all. I do think these tyres look quite good as well. I know that's a very useless thing, but I just think they look quite nice, if I'm honest. On that note, I'm probably going to go and ride gently home like I always ride. I will see you in next week's video. Let me know in the comments, A, if you've tried these tyres and what you think of them, and B, if you've got something better that I should try, because this is a super adventure, I'll probably go for a rear tyre in about 5,000, 6,000 miles. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you in next week's video. Oh, yes! Oh, remember the camera, Sam.